The public tends to be more interested in the conflicts, largest freakouts, or lowest points of most celebrities. The complete opposite is true for Keanu Reeves. The response is greater the more typical, real, and humble he is. A woman rear-ended Keanu Reeves' vintage 1973 Norton Commando 750 motorcycle while the actor was inside a medical facility in this 2011 video, which has received 16 million views. In order to record the occurrence, the Beverly Hills police arrived. Keanu speaks with them and the woman like any other person would, and then drives off after a short while. Keanu talks to his followers about his motorcycle in this 2021 video, which has 8.3 million views and is being analyzed as though it were some sort of social experiment. He doesn't do anything to keep them at a distance, but I admire how they maintain their distance out of respect for him. He's speaking, grinning, and extending out to them in the meantime. He is not ejecting them in any way. In this video from 2015, Keanu rushes through an airport while pausing to pose for pictures with fans. Despite having a net worth of $350 million and 7.7 million viewers, he does not have bodyguards and only uses commercial aircraft. Here are Joe Rogan's comments on Keanu.
See him, he's dressed like me.
Yeah.
He's got like a regular watch on and sneakers. He's normal. It's real weird. And people freak out. They're like, is that? No, can't be.
Some of you might find it odd that Keanu is praised for possessing fundamental human decency, but it just goes to show how Hollywood has drastically lowered our standards for superstars. But after you read about Keanu's difficult beginnings and his extravagant deeds of kindness, you will comprehend why he has become known as the nicest man in Hollywood. Make sure you drink plenty of water. When Keanu was just 3 years old, his drug-addicted father Samuel Reeves finally abandoned the family, leaving his mother Patricia to care for the 2 children by herself, while working long hours as a costume designer. Samuel Reeves had a history of drug usage and was frequently in and out of prison for trafficking heroin. During Keanu's upbringing, Patricia wed and divorced 4 different men. Keanu's sister claims that their childhood was significantly impacted by the male revolving door. The guy of the hour dictated how we lived our lives. The children were mostly left on their own, even though they had many father figures while they were little, Kim asserts. We never had anyone play with us, watch Keanu play hockey, or watch me ride horses. Unstable father figures are known to increase the likelihood of young men growing up violent, furious, unhappy, and frequently repeating the cycle of abandonment. Keanu was destined for disaster from the start. His professors observed a hazy sadness hovering over him like a menacing cloud. He attended numerous high schools for more than 5 years, including one where he was expelled for being excessively rowdy. Keanu believes he spoke excessively and wasn't always the best-oiled machine in the classroom. I suppose all I was doing was getting in their way. Keanu was deeply cut off from everyone. They made him feel uncomfortable, and this feeling persisted even when he got to Hollywood. His name was too ethnic, his agents informed Reeves. Even though it was the middle of the 1980s, it still seems foolish to worry about something like this. Although Keanu was understandably irritated by it, he genuinely paid attention to what they had to say and attempted going by a different name, Casey or Casey Reeves. However, Casey would not answer the phone when he had auditions. Most individuals wouldn't even think about renaming themselves, much less really try it. Early on, Keanu shown that he was adaptable and easy to work with. When he switched back to using his real name, his career suffered no consequences. His career was affected by some of the early parts he was cast in. He was essentially cast as an adolescent heartthrob, which laid the groundwork for Hollywood's nice man. Male actors who are young and attractive frequently amass fan bases from women who romanticize them as the ideal boyfriend. In the beginning, he appeared on NBC's Babes in Toyland, Act of Vengeance, and Brotherhood of Justice. He also made his film debuts in the sports drama Youngblood and the low-budget romantic movie Flying. However, everything changed when he met casting director Carrie Fraser. "Oh my God, this is my guy," I thought as he walked through the door. It was simply a result of the way he carried himself. His shoes were not fastened, and he appeared to be a young man transitioning into a manly wardrobe. I was ecstatic about him. He was cast in dramas including The Night Before, The Prince of Pennsylvania, and Permanent Record thanks to his attraction to younger audiences. But Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which was released in 1989, was his big break. Despite the film's mixed critical reception, it was a good financial success, making $40 million against a $10 million budget. Keanu's reputation in Hollywood was considerably raised by Reeves' portrayal of Ted Logan. Between 200 and 300 actors were screened for the starring roles, and director Stephen Herrick requested that each actor try out for both roles. One of the first people to try out was Keanu, and Herrick decided to cast him as Ted right away. Keanu was one of the first to enter. It was almost like, wow, he's Ted, and he has this endearing goofiness to him. But that was genuinely Keanu. He wasn't just playing the likable, decent guy. In 1991, when he helped a man in need, he demonstrated this. Keanu was a street hustler in the action movie My Own Private Idaho, which he co-starred in with River Phoenix. Gus Van Sant had trouble seeing players for the two principal parts before shooting ever began. He expected Keanu and River's representatives to reject the script when he delivered it to them. Phoenix representatives steadfastly declined the project, while Reeves' agent read only halfway through the first page of the screenplay. Since they were friends, Van Sant persuaded Keanu to visit River Phoenix at his Florida home and personally give the script to him. Keanu was cast in the role of, but they persuaded him to choose the more challenging role of the drug-dependent hustler Mike, which he did. The most absurd aspect of this is that River ended up receiving much more accolades than Keanu in this movie. Phoenix received Best Actor awards from the Independent Spirit Awards, National Society of Film Critics, and the Venice Film Festival. Sadly, 23-year-old River Phoenix tragically died outside Hollywood's Viper Room nightclub in 1993 after many days of binging on cocaine and heroin in front of his brother, sister, and girlfriend. Throughout the years, Keanu has kept his strong friendship with River a secret, choosing to do so. But even after 30 years, loss of River still leaves Keanu with a raw emotional wound. If we are being completely honest, however, Keanu riding that motorcycle wasn't really a sacrifice. That man enjoys riding. However, he sacrificed something that 99.9% of other performers wouldn't have done when filming The Devil's Advocate: money. In the supernatural thriller, The Devil's Advocate, we follow a young attorney as he delves into the murky realm of prosperity and temptation. Al Pacino, a three-time rejecter of the role of John Milton, owing to the cliched nature of the character, was approached by producers during the casting process. Pacino even proposed Sean Connery and Robert Redford for the part. According to reports, Keanu accepted a hefty pay reduction worth millions of dollars so that the film's creators could pay Al Pacino the amount he requested. And once more, everyone profited from Keanu's sacrifice except for him. Al Pacino's performance was one of the few positive aspects of the movie and helped it earn over $61 million at the box office. It wasn't the first time either, neither was it the last. 3 years later, the actor reportedly accepted a 90% salary cut in order to co-star with Gene Hackman in The Replacements. Nevertheless, it didn't really matter if Keanu was a good person or not because many people considered him to be an average actor. He was regarded as the weakest performer in his best-known and most lucrative movie up to this moment. Reeves played Jonathan Harker in the acclaimed gothic horror movie Bram Stoker's Dracula. With $82 million in international box office receipts, the movie outperformed Keanu's previous highest-grossing film, Point Break, both critically and financially. Despite the success of the movie, many critics thought Keanu's casting and performance needed improvement. Josh Winning, a writer for Total Film, claimed that Keanu ruined the picture. In a list of 50 performances from 2011 that destroyed movies, he mentioned it. One of the worst accents ever captured on film is thought to be Keanu's attempt at an English accent. Of course, sir, I agree. What actually occurred to Mr. Renfield in Transylvania, if I may ask? But it goes further than that. Keanu was committed to realizing a director's vision once more. He put on 2 months' worth of weight and worked out to be in shape for the part. He was initially anxious before becoming addicted to the adrenaline. Keanu's second action movie, but the effort paid off handsomely. Speed, which debuted in the summer of 1994 and earned $350 million on a $30 million budget, was the 5th highest-grossing movie of the year and was nominated for 2 Academy Awards. If you needed more evidence of Keanu's lack of concern for money, he turned down a $12 million deal for the movie's star in Speed 2, Cruise Control. It wasn't against any of the artists who were part of the project, despite the fact that the original was his most commercially successful endeavor to that time in his career. But at the time, I was experiencing what I'm sure we've all experienced occasionally when something just doesn't feel right. Keanu was placed on 20th Century Fox's blacklist for 10 years as a result of this choice. When he gave up his personal money, it was oak. But Hollywood moguls would punish anyone who stands in the way of their millions. Unfortunately for them, Keanu's next movie was going to make him famous for life. Thus, the blacklist did not stop him from becoming a global sensation, in which intelligent machines have developed a synthetic reality that traps humanity unintentionally, using their bodies as a source of distraction. The choice of the producers was not Keanu. Because he believed the project was too grandiose, Will Smith declined. Because he didn't want a movie to be in Australia for that long, Nicolas Cage declined. The role of Brad Pitt in Fight Club was declined. Good decision. Sandra Bullock believed that Neo should be a guy, and that she didn't fit, and even Johnny Depp turned them down, leaving Keanu, who felt fortunate to be given the role. Keanu had rigorous martial arts training for several months in order to prepare for the part, which was demanding given that he was coping with a significant injury. Before training and receiving a plate in his neck, he underwent a 2-level spine fusion due to a bulging disc in his spine. He trained for The Matrix while wearing a neck brace, but he never revealed this to anyone because he couldn't have made the movie. When The Matrix was first released, the movie received a lot of positive reviews from critics who complimented its cutting-edge visual effects, action scenes, cinematography, and entertainment value. It became the highest-grossing Warner Bros. Movie of 1999 and the 4th highest-grossing movie of that year after earning over $460 million on a $63 million budget. Keanu reportedly earned $14 million for his performance before earning an additional $49 million as a result of the movie's commercial success. Although Keanu was already a popular actor before The Matrix, he formally cemented his legend status with this movie. Keanu was about to experience another catastrophe right at the pinnacle of his life, as if his father's betrayal and losing his best friend weren't enough torment. The first child for Keanu and his girlfriend Jennifer Seam was due soon. They learned the baby was stillborn on Christmas Eve in 1999, 8 months into Jennifer's pregnancy. The relationship didn't continue as Keanu and Jennifer eventually got divorced due to Jennifer's postpartum depression and Keanu's anguish over losing their child. They remained close friends and were just about to start dating again until Jennifer tragically passed away in a vehicle accident in 2001, one day after she first met Keanu. And despite this unimaginable amount of sadness, Keanu perseveres and draws strength from his sorrow to help others. Keanu founded a cancer foundation shortly after this, so Reeves disclosed in 2009 that he has a private foundation that has been operating for 5 or 6 years and supports a few children's hospitals as well as cancer research. I like to let the foundation handle things on its own rather than tying my name to them. When they perform a good deed, most celebrities try to indulge in their own moral grandstanding and pretentiousness, but Keanu kept it a secret for as long as he could. However, his generosity doesn't end there. Keanu recorded a scene where his character Neo engaged in combat with several Agent Smith clones when The Matrix Reloaded was being made. 12 stuntmen played different Smiths in the scene as part of the action. Keanu kindly presented a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle to each member of the movie's stunt squad as a thank you for their dedication. And no, he had never given gifts to cast members before. To show his appreciation for their hard work, Reeves gifted his John Wick Chapter 4 stunt squad bespoke Rolex Submariner watches. Each watch was worth $10,000. He also organized an all-expenses-paid trip to the premiere for The Matrix Resurrections stunt squad. Reeves provided the invitations with the premiere tickets, private jet transportation, hotel accommodations, and even a special post-premiere luncheon as a symbol of his appreciation. Numerous news sources said that Keanu gave $31.5 million, or 70% of his Matrix earnings, to cancer research. The tale is untrue, though. According to his spokesman, Keanu Reeves did not give away 70% of his earnings to charity. The internet jumped on this story right away because they will use any justification to praise Keanu for his charity. It does seem like something he would do, after all. Ironically, the action he took was the one that garnered him the greatest attention and accolades. 2011 saw the viral success of this video of Keanu riding the New York City Metro. He gestured to his seat and motioned for the woman holding a large bag to take a seat. Keanu stood up to give the woman the seat he was sitting in after she accepted his offer. More than 42 million people have watched the video. Even without giving up his seat, the thought of him taking the subway, rather than a limousine or having a personal driver, lets people relate to the idol. His no-touching policy is evident in the numerous images of him with ladies that went viral. Because he prefers to keep his hand floating a few inches away from women's backs while taking photos with them, he was dubbed a courteous king. The most engaging content usually involves the controversial or dark sides of celebrities. Keanu experiences it entirely differently. Giving to the homeless, spending time with them on the street, playing with puppies, touring China with a stuffed animal, or imparting true advice are all examples of Keanu news that goes viral. Keanu made the decision to remain a kind-hearted, modest man rather than a self-righteous narcissist. In spite of all the suffering he has gone through and the enormous success he has had in Hollywood, for fame and money, most celebrities sacrifice their souls. Keanu uses his notoriety and wealth to benefit others. Even though it might appear like he receives excessive praise for even the tiniest deeds of compassion, Keanu Reeves has repeatedly shown that, by Hollywood standards, he isn't just a good guy, he is truly a wonderful person.